Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be diving into the do not pay, do not collect status. So exactly what is a do not pay, do not collect status? We're going to go ahead and dive into it and how you can go ahead and put your bills in this status. That way you don't have to pay because there's no money. We don't owe any bills. And as always, I want to let you guys know that there is a lot to consumer law, a lot to be broken down, and a lot to be understood in order for you to actually get remedy when it comes to you monetizing your credit report or monetizing your violations or monetizing the requirements under the CFRs. You first have to have a good understanding of the law and be able to recite it and retain it when needed be. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into today's video, and that is how do you place your bills in a do not pay, do not collect status. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to discharging your debt, there are two ways to discharge a debt and pay a bill, right? The first would be to accept the coupon for the value that it holds. Now, as we all know, that coupon is that remittance coupon at the bottom of our bills that comes in the mail each month to let you know how much of your credit that you've used. It doesn't is necessarily telling you that you definitely does that you have to pay. Excuse me. So that coupon that comes at the bottom of your bill is telling you how much credit that you've used for that month that they're charging against your account at the treasury, right? So it's not necessarily telling you that you owe a bill. As consumers, you all know that we incur the debt and we're supposed to defer it back to the United States. You are doing that by using your coupons. Well, how do you use your coupons? Well, here are the two ways that you're able to use your coupons, i.e., discharge your debt. So again, the first one is to accept that coupon for the value that it holds. And then the second is by doing a billing error notice. So in today's video, I'm going to show you all the law that you will be using to start the billing error dispute process and to place your bills in that do not pay, do not collect status, right? So again, there has been a lot of talks around consumer law, and of course, um we all want to get to the point where we're able to discharge our debt. Do we have to move in the private? Can this be done in the public? All that good information I actually go into depth and detail inside of my course, Run That Remedy, which is not currently open for no students, but it will open soon, and I'll tell you later on in the video how you can join the wait list to get into the next class. But let's go ahead and continue on into today's video. And I do want to let you all know that if you are going to find any gems or you find any gems so far in today's video, go ahead and make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. That way you don't miss any further videos. Alrighty, so with 12 CFR 1026.13, this is the billing error resolution law. So this is the law where the meat and potatoes of how you get your accounts in the do not pay, do not collect status. What allows us to get our accounts put into that status? Well, it's this law. This is actually a requirement that has to be done by a creditor, right? So they have to follow by these requirements of the law, right? So you're going to be focusing your billing error disputes under the Truth in Lending Act and the Truth in Lending Act only. Again, I go over this information or that information into detail in my course, Run That Remedy. Be sure to get on the wait list for the next one. But in order for you to discharge your debts and place them in the proper status, you will be executing a billing error dispute using one law. And what is that one law? Well, you've guessed it. It's 12 CFR 1026.13. Now, the key takeaway today is going to be the rules pending the resolution of a billing error dispute. And again, inside of my question, Run That Remedy, you will get a full breakdown of the laws surrounding a billing error dispute, which is actually our module 1, week 1, where we actually go into all of the laws and full breakdown of how do you put your accounts in the billing error dispute status and what laws actually pertain to a billing error dispute and why there is a billing error. So yeah, that's module 1. But anyway, for the purpose of today's video, we're going to be diving into 12 CFR 1026.13D, and D is the rules pending a billing error resolution. Now, the rules pending, let's go back. The rules pending resolution. Now, as a consumer with a billing error dispute, right, you have rights. And your rights under the billing error dispute law states that as a consumer, you have the right to withhold the disputed amount from being collected from the creditor. So what does that mean, Cream? Well, okay, essentially it means that as a consumer, if you raise into question a billing error with a creditor, once you've raised into question that billing error dispute or that billing error question, right? So if you've notified the creditor and notified and let them know, hey, I have a billing error, this is the amount that I have in question. At that point, once you've raised that billing error question, you now have the right to withhold the amount that you disputed with the creditor, whether it be $1,000, whether it be $2,000, whatever the amount is, you have the right to withhold that amount from being collected from a creditor. Now, some of you may be asking, does this work for past payments? Will it work for future payments? For that question, you all have to go ahead and enroll or sign up for the waitlist and to run that remedy. Well, I do dive deeper inside of the course and breaking it down to you all further. But again, let's go back to today's video. So the rules pending resolution, it also states that the creditor themselves may not try to collect any portion of the required payment until the billing error is resolved. Right? So you want to keep in mind that you must act in good faith with clean hands and place your accounts in the proper status before you are able to enforce your rights with this law. And again, I do break it down further inside of Run That Remedy. But if you all are wanting to go ahead and get your hands on some content and material today inside of the DIY Billing Error Bible, so this is the do-it-yourself study guide. It does walk you all through the exact steps and laws before execution. You may go ahead and grab your DIY guide by visiting my website, www.siditycream.com. It'll be in the comment section of this video below. And you can go ahead and download your DIY guide today. Just bear in mind that you would not have direct access to answer any questions shall you do the DIY procedure or process. Now let's go ahead and look at the actual law when it comes to the rules pending the resolution, right? Let's go ahead and break this down. Okay, so this is 1026.13D, and it says the rules pending resolution, right? So until a billing error is resolved under paragraph E or F of this section or subchapter, the following rules do apply. For number 1, it says that the consumer's right to withhold disputed amount collection prohibited. So what does that mean? Well, it states here, it means that the consumer need not pay. So do not pay. The consumer need not pay. Do not pay. And the creditor may not try to collect. Do not collect. So that's this law right here is what places your bills in that do not pay, do not collect status. Why? Because the law says until this billing error is resolved, the consumer need not pay and the creditor may not try to collect any portion of the required payment that the consumer believes is related to the disputed amount. That's going to be inclusive of any type of related finance or other charges, right? So if the cardholder has enrolled in an automatic payment plan offered by the card issuer and has agreed to pay the credit card indebtedness by periodic deductions from the cardholder's deposit account, the card issuer shall not deduct any part of the disputed amount or related finance or other charges if a billing error notice is received at any time up to 3 business days before the scheduled payment. And what that is saying is if you have have raised a billing error question with the creditor and your account is on auto pay and you've agreed to pay those periodic deductions by auto pay, if you dispute or you raise a billing error question with the creditor through a billing error dispute, and there's a payment due on Friday, and they receive your billing error dispute on Tuesday, that's 3 business days prior, they're not supposed to go ahead and continue with that scheduled payment. They're not to collect once you raise that question. That's what that is. That's what this paragraph here is stating to us. And then what else rules apply here? So number 2, it says adverse credit reports prohibited. The creditor or its agent shall not directly or indirectly make or threaten to make an adverse report to any person about the consumer's credit standing, or report that an amount or account is delinquent because the consumer failed to pay the disputed amount or other related finance charges. So it's telling you here, once you exercise your rights to place your account in that do not pay, do not collect status, they are prohibited from providing adverse credit reports. So they're not able to report you delinquent to the credit bureaus because you've exercised your rights. That's what number 3 is saying. Then, number 2 is saying. Then let's get into number 3. The acceleration of debt and restriction of account prohibited. A creditor shall not accelerate any part of the consumer's indebtedness or restrict or close a consumer's account solely because the consumer has exercised in good faith rights provided by this section or subchapter. So a creditor may be subject to forfeiture penalty under 15 U.S.C. 1666E for failure to comply with the requirements of this section. So what is this section saying? So this section is saying that once you call into question a billing error and have notified the creditor of a billing error dispute, the creditor cannot at that point go and accelerate your indebtedness to say you owe more. They can't go and restrict or close your account just because you've stated or that you've called a billing error into question. So the law clearly is clear on adverse action. They're not able to take any adverse action against you. And that's what number 3 is saying. Well, what happens if they do? It does state here, now if they do, a creditor may be subject to a forfeiture penalty under 15 U.S.C. 1660E for failure to comply with the requirements of this section. So 12 CFR 1026.13D is the requirements under the CFRs. They've let you know here, if the creditor fails to do that, then under the violation, they will have violated 15 U.S.C. 1666E for failure to comply. And at that point, you would have a claim. And this is how you'd be moving forward to arbitration once they failed to do this. So we go more in depth into this, into my course, Run That Remedy as well, but I have done a great job of breaking it down here for you all for free. When it comes to what's permitted by the creditor and what actions that they're able to do in number 4, the law states that a creditor is not prohibited from taking action to collect the amount that you raise into question, or I'm sorry, not the amount that you raise into question. They're not prohibited from taking action to collect any undisputed portion of the item or bill. So if you had, or you called into question $2,500 and the bill was $3,000, then the creditor can go forward and they can still take action on the undisputed portion of that item or bill. So that's what this portion of the law is telling us. But we're going to go ahead and stop there. Just be sure that if you want to get a further breakdown on how to discharge your debt, go ahead and be sure to text Remedy to 407-305-7089. Again, make sure that you text the word Remedy to 407-305-7089. That way you all are added onto the wait list for the next Run That Remedy course. And as always, if you guys are wanting to go ahead and grab your DIY study guide today, visit www.siditycream.com to go ahead and download your copy of the Billing Error Bible today. Until the next time, be sure that you are liking and subscribing this video, and I will see you all soon. Peace.